Sheev Palpatine, also known as Darth Sidious, was the Sith Master for decades and had multiple apprentices during his reign, as seen in the Clone Wars and the prequel trilogy. Even though his apprentices knew some of the Sith Master plan to destroy the Jedi and take control of the galaxy, Palpatine's apprentices only knew as much as he wanted them to know, and always used and manipulated them for his own desires and grand scheme. In the Legends book, Star Wars Jedi vs. Sith, The Essential Guide to the Force, it is shown in Palpatine's perspective how he perfectly picked his apprentices, and his thoughts on each of them are revealed. Let's get right into it. The relationship between a Sith Lord Master and apprentice is far more powerful than any other teacher and student, a duality greater than the fundamental entities of mind and matter. It is vital that neither believes there is greater strength in a single Sith Lord or in an order that exceeds two. Because you are not yet a master yourself, you might assume that it is the master's duty to bestow all his knowledge of the dark side to his apprentice, but you cannot be more mistaken. It is the apprentice's duty to learn all that he can from the master, and it is also the master's right to refrain from revealing all his secrets. My own master, Darth Plagueis, made the grave error of teaching me too much, at which point he became unnecessary. Choosing an apprentice can be a strenuous endeavor. The most important thing to remember is that the apprentice's purpose is to serve the master. Only when you consider how few beings are worthy of becoming a Sith Lord can you begin to understand the enormity of your responsibility. You want someone capable of carrying out your orders, but not someone who has every intention of killing you before you can accomplish your goals. And you can expect that your apprentice will come to want your life, for it is only natural for the apprentice to aspire for more. An apprentice should be ambitious, but if your own ambition is to live, you must be mindful. Choose someone as a successor, and eventually you will be succeeded. Choose someone hungrier than you, and you will be devoured. Choose someone quicker, and you won't dodge the blade at your back. Choose someone with more patience, and you won't block the blade at your throat. Choose someone more devious, and you'll hold the blade that kills you. Choose someone more clever, and you'll never know your end. Despite these cautions, an apprentice is essential. A master without an apprentice is a master of nothing. I took inspiration from the Jedi tradition of indoctrinating Force-sensitive infants when I selected one apprentice, whom I named Darth Maul. I took him from his homeworld, Iridonia, and raised him as I would construct the perfect weapon. I trained him in numerous exotic and forbidden martial arts, disciplined him constantly, and personally applied the Sith tattoos that were evidence of his complete dedication to the dark side of the Force. Maul had but one reason for being: to exact vengeance against the Jedi Order for the decimation of the Sith ranks. Oh, how he dreamed of burning the Jedi Temple to the ground. I would know, for I gave him that dream repeatedly. Maul completed his basic training several years before the Battle of Naboo, and served me well as an assassin, an extension of my will. As loyal as he was, I made no effort to caution him when I foresaw his death in a duel with the Jedi on Naboo, for by that time, the Jedi had already become aware of their chosen one, the remarkably powerful Anakin Skywalker, who was only 9 years old. I had foreseen that young Skywalker would eventually become my apprentice, but that I would have to wait for him. Ultimately, Maul was nothing more than a tool, and despite his sense of purpose, he never realized that it was not his destiny to raise the Jedi Temple, but by slaying Qui-Gon Jinn before he was in turn killed by Obi-Wan Kenobi, that tool accomplished a different goal. He rattled the Jedi Order's long complacent attitude regarding the existence of the Sith, making many of them nervous and paranoid, and also created a path for Skywalker to be trained in the ways of the Force and the Jedi by Obi-Wan Kenobi, a Jedi with relatively limited experience. To those who do not know me, my actions or apparent inactions during the Battle of Naboo may have seemed like a calculated risk than a gross exercise in wishful thinking. I'm sure you will agree that such suggestions are insulting. No, I knew exactly what I was doing when I allowed certain events to happen as they did. Why train an apprentice to hate the Jedi when the Jedi can train him for you? I did not wait long to appoint my next apprentice. I had had my eye on the Jedi Master Count Dooku for quite some time, and had even met with him on several occasions when I was a senator to discuss his ideologies. Dooku's infinite charm, impeccable manners, and powers of influence were precisely what I needed to accelerate my goals for galactic conquest. Despite his many years of service to the Jedi Order, it was quite easy to convince him to ally with me. Of course, it did help that I knew of his slight fascination with Sith holocrons when he was but a Jedi Padawan, and so Dooku became Darth Tyrannus. Both Darth Tyrannus and his alter ego accomplished a great deal in the years that he served me. As Tyrannus, he arranged for the creation of the clone army for the Republic, and as Dooku, he became the leader of the Republic's opposition, the Confederacy of Independent Systems. Tyrannus also enlisted Asajj Ventress to our cause. If there ever was a Sith aspirant, it was Ventress, but her hatred of the Jedi was so intense that it frequently blinded her and made her tactless and reckless. She may have tricked and deluded herself into believing she was Tyrannus' apprentice, especially after he bestowed upon her a pair of lightsabers that had once belonged to Dooku's last Padawan, Kamari Vosa. Perhaps Ventress deserved them, for she was an occasionally capable warrior, nothing more or less. The report of her death on Boss Pity hardly came as a surprise, but as with Darth Maul, Darth Tyrannus' tenure was not indefinite. When the prize opportunity finally came for Anakin Skywalker to take his place beside me, it was imperative to end Tyrannus' apprenticeship. Skywalker himself did the deed on the invisible hand, which came as a complete surprise to Tyrannus. It still amuses me that the old scoundrel never foresaw that my goals might hinge on his death, and so, Anakin Skywalker, the Jedi, hopelessly entranced by my promise to show him the secrets to eternal life, became the Sith Lord, Darth Vader. Although he did fulfill Darth Maul's dream of bringing down the Jedi Temple and also kill the leaders of the Confederacy, I regret Vader disappointed me early on when he allowed himself to be mutilated by Kenobi on Mustafar. Yes, Vader remained strong in the Force, but strong enough to replace and succeed me? Never. Granted, he was strong enough to kill me, but that only lasted for so long. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and learned something new, please like and subscribe. And remember, the Force will be with you, always.